All right, what is up, guys? It's Mitchell or Deity, and I'm going to do this video real quick because I see a lot of people pushing to do their new crafting event. So, real quick before we get into it, if any of you guys have a Twitch Prime sub, I know a lot of you on YouTube, I've learned from streaming on YouTube now that a lot of you guys don't go over to Twitch. But if any of you have a Twitch Prime sub, if you are willing to go use it on my Twitch, you can do it when I'm offline. I get like $4 for each one almost. So if any of you are willing to do that, it helps me out a ton. So I'll leave my Twitch down in the description. It's just Deity on Twitch. Super easy to find, but I'll leave a link to that. So with the gear event going on, you are going to have the ability to get a piece of gear really similar to this, but you cannot pick where the rolls go into. So this event is amazing, the Forge Your Epic gear, but this event's still really good. Don't get me wrong, but it does not guarantee the piece will roll high. So you can go ahead and pick your pieces. I'm going to show a notepad that has a bunch of optimal things you can get. So you always want to do right side pieces for this, either neck, ring, or boots. Doing left side is a waste of this event. That is just first off. Second off, I'm going to show a bunch of ones that are good. I am personally going to do an attack percent ring on speed set. So I'm going to do this. Once you select your types and everything, you will have this pop up. This event lasts until the 27th. We have like a month. So guys, take your time and get a perfect piece of gear starting, because we have change stone or stones that will let you reset the piece of gear and try to roll it again if it does roll bad. So you want this piece to be as perfect as possible on a new account. So once you have the piece, you're going to have to come up with the subsets that you want. But in order to change, you'll have this right here. You just click change subsets. Every stamina that you use is going to be 1 point. So you're going to have a ton of points from playing the game. So make sure that you get exactly what you want. So for an attack percent ring, we're going to be looking for crit chance, crit damage, speed, and either HP or defense percent. You do not want to go flat attack on these pieces. If you go flat attack and a heavy rolls into flat attack, that piece now just lost a lot of value. I'll talk about that again in a second. But you just spend your points and keep selecting the one that is best while you're going through this. And you have all month until you get the best piece possible. If you end up getting a pretty good piece early and you're happy with it, then you can go ahead and take it. But overall, I would heavily suggest waiting and making sure that the piece is, one, has a stat line you want, two, has high rolls on it. So this can get very annoying because you have to sit here and do this for a long time. But this is a way to make sure you are getting a great piece of gear. So once you're out of points, you just go back to farming and you start doing it again. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show, I just clicked the wrong thing. I'm going to go ahead and show some good substat style pieces you can get. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. Depends on the characters that you have. But here is a little like picture type guide as to what is good. So necklaces. Going counter set. If you do main set, crit damage, HP percent, defense percent, speed, and crit chance. Great. Counter set, main set, crit chance, HP percent, defense percent, speed, and crit damage. The reason I'm not, so say if you want to do ML Landy, the reason I'm not saying get attack percent within this is because this is a piece of gear that can be used on all counter characters. If you get attack percent on this piece of gear and it rolls high attack, then it is limited on the characters you can use it on. These are, all of these that I show are just overall general stats that can be used on more characters. So these could be used on ML Landy, but also if you get a better piece later, then this can move off to another counter character and then you can put the other piece on ML Landy. So we're trying to get a piece that is usable on the most possible characters when doing this. So another counter set thing you can do is going to be crit chance main stat ring, which is fantastic. It's the most value, but it's harder for newer players to use. And then the same substats, just HP percent, defense, speed, but then crit damage instead of crit chance. Now, next up, a speed set or pen set necklace. The best things you can do are crit damage if you're doing speed set, and a crit damage or crit chance if you're doing pen set. So, and you can do crit chance speed, but it's not really optimal for newer players. It's harder to get the crit damage substats to make that as efficient as it's going to be. So I wouldn't suggest that unless you're a later game player. Early game, crit damage, main stat if you're going to do speed. Pen set is usually safer to go crit damage too, but going crit chance, if you get gear with high crit damage rolls, then you can make it a better overall piece. But for the subs, we're going to be doing attack percent, crit chance, speed, and you want HP or defense percent. Even though you're going for as much attack as you can get, if you got a flat attack roll within this and it rolled into flat attack, that piece of gear, every flat attack roll is not, it's not efficient. So if you were to get this and roll twice in a flat attack, your piece of gear is pretty overall not good. So just keep that in mind. But by doing HP percent or defense percent, your piece is going to have overall higher value, and you can still use it on another character. But with this not being able to choose where subsets go, your piece might not roll for the character you're hoping it's good for, and don't try to force it and ruin a piece of gear. So that is my best advice. Just roll this piece. There's a chance you can get exactly what you're looking for, but there's a chance it could just end up being great on somebody else. So if it rolled high defense or HP percent, it could be a piece. If it's pen set for Little Queen Charlotte or another character like that. Remnant Violet, if you choose HP, it rolls high HP, you could put on Remnant Violet. If it's pen set, Speed set, if it goes HP or defense, it just is going to add some bulk to either your Green Landy, Spectre Tenebria, things like that. So it is just way more efficient. Next up, rings. If you're going to be doing counter, HP percent main for rings is usually just the overall best counter piece you can do. It can be used on most characters. There's some characters use attack percent on counter, but the majority of counter units use HP percent. So Shu, Apoc Ravi, ML Landy, you can use HP on. The most like top tier counter characters you're going to want HP percent main, because counter characters you want bulk on them. The only time you do attack is if they have survivability within their kit, like Kayron has immortality, BBK has immortality, characters like that you could do attack, but those characters few and far between, and this is just going to overall be better by choosing HP main percent. Now speed or pen ring, same thing. You're going to want crit chance, crit damage, speed, HP percent, same exact thing with that. And then for boots are always a super safe option. I know my face cam is blocking the bottom of this. Boots are always a super safe option. If you go counter, speed, or pen, you can do whatever. If you're a late game character, just pick what you need. Obviously, you don't need this guide. But if you're a newer player doing boots, if you do counter, pen, or speed, just make sure you do speed main stat. You do not want attack percent. Also, with necklaces, you do not want attack percent. If you're any character in the game that is going to be critting and doing damage does not want an attack percent necklace. It is less efficient. So get that out of your regular crafting or mindset. Is this piece has attack percent, crit chance, crit damage, it's going to be good on a character. Yes, it could be usable, but you are losing a lot of overall gear value for that. I'm not going to explain that in this video, but just try to keep that in mind. Attack percent is not an HP percent, even if they're HP or attack scaling damage dealers. They want, if they're going to be critting and doing crit or damage that from their crits, then you want to either have crit chance or crit damage to get the most out of the character. Now, boots, counter speed pen, you want speed main stat. Do not get a counter HP percent main boot. Very few characters use that, even though most of you probably think that you need the HP. The thing with speed, it is very, very important in all aspects of the game. So even if you're doing counter, you still want speed main stat. Having a 0 speed ML Landy, 0 speed Shu, it's not as good as having one that's going to take more turns. The more turns you get, the better. If you go full HP, you are just committing yourself to just RNGing. So if you have a HP percent boot and you're, say, ML Landy or Shu gets attacked a million times and never counters, guess what? You are not going to be getting a turn, you're going to lose. So you are completely relying on RNG at that point, whereas doing speed allows you to take turns and you are not as reliant on getting the counter RNG. You're still going to get some turns, still going to get some damage, and it's just a more consistent way to play the game. So, and that is the same for speed and pen. You want speed main stat. Even speed, you want attack percent boots, you do not. You use very few characters on speed set, main stat, attack percent boots. So if you're crafting a bunch of those and have a bunch, you only need like 2 or 3. So, and if you have all 300 characters, you need like 2 or 3 attack percent, speed set, main stat boots. You can use them for PvE if they roll well, if you have some extras, but overall you do not need many. Now, the best substat combinations, attack percent, HP, defense, depending on what you're going for. So say you're doing a counter sit boot for ML Landy, you're going to want HP percent, crit chance, crit damage, and defense percent. If you're going for a damage dealer, boot on speed or pen, you're going to want attack percent, crit chance, crit damage, and again, either HP percent or defense percent. Do not pick flat attack if you can. You have a full month of grinding and resetting it. Trust me, you're going to get the piece you want. You might not get perfect max rolls, but as long as you're close and have the exact stat line that's good, you're going to be great. So that is all I have for this video. I tried to cover this the best I can. Good luck. Let me know in the comments what you're going for, and that'll give other players who are looking into this what they should try to get. It could give them some ideas. But again, if you guys have a Twitch Prime sub, it's the last day of the month when I'm making this. But if you watch this later, Twitch Priming at any time. It's a huge help for me trying to do this full time. So if any of you are willing to take the 20-30 seconds to click over and see if you have one available, it would help me a lot. But that's all I got. Thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.